Hi, friends. Welcome back to Table for One, please. The space where we talk about growing through what we go through and learning to love the season we're in. I'm your host, Ariel, and today's episode is for anyone who's ever had their hopes up and then had those hopes fall flat. Maybe it was someone you really liked who didn't like you back, a breakup that blindsided you, or a connection that felt promising but fizzled out before it even began. It's that ache of, but I really wanted this to work. Rejection can make us question everything, our worth, our judgment, even whether God still cares about the desires of our hearts. But what if the ending wasn't rejection at all? What if it was redirection? We love that, right? Let's talk about it. Rejection hurts in a way that few things do. It's not just about losing a person, it's about losing the possibility. You start replaying moments in your head, wondering what you could have said differently, what signs you might have missed, or why it didn't work out when you thought it finally might. And sometimes you don't even get closure. You just get silence, a read message, a sudden change in tone, a door you didn't expect to close. And that kind of pain can trigger old wounds. Maybe that familiar feeling of not being chosen or not feeling like you're enough. But here's the thing, rejection doesn't mean you're unworthy. And I know it seems so cliche to say this. It just means something wasn't aligned. And while your feelings are valid, your worth was never on the line. I truly believe God allows certain things to fall apart to protect what he's still putting together. And sometimes his no feels like rejection, but it really is his protection. He's not punishing you, he's redirecting you. And sometimes it takes time to realize that he's doing that. And I understand that it hurts. It's easy to trust God when things go our way, but the real test comes when they don't, right? So when the relationship doesn't last, when the person you prayed for moves on, when you're left holding the pieces, wondering what you did wrong. But I've learned that even in this kind of heartbreak, God is kind. He sees the conversations you didn't hear, the intentions you couldn't see, and the future that we have yet to imagine. And sometimes his mercy shows up as a door that doesn't open, no matter how much you knock. So here's what I've had to remind myself. Just because it doesn't work out doesn't mean I did something wrong. Rejection can really make you internalize things that were never about you. You start thinking, if I were prettier, if I were more patient, if I was more chill, if I asked for less things, I was more agreeable. But the truth is, if you were wrong for them, that doesn't make you wrong as a person. So when you're picking up the pieces, I want you to try this. Affirm your worth out loud. Say to yourself, I am still worthy of love, still valuable, and still becoming who God made me to be. Grieve what you hope for. You're not just losing a person, you're losing a future that you pictured with them. And that loss deserves space. That's okay. Grieve. Stop rewriting the story. Don't turn their absence into a narrative about your own inadequacy. You didn't fail. It just wasn't meant to fit, wasn't meant to work. Choose relief over resentment. Bitterness will keep you tied to what God already loosed or untangled. Every every ending has an aftertaste. Sadness, confusion, maybe you're even embarrassed. But healing starts when you stop chasing closure from them and start finding peace in God. In my own personal story, I mean, there was a time I really thought something or someone was it. It felt mutual, it felt promising, it felt safe. And then, without warning, it unravels. You tried to make sense of it, but there wasn't a reason that could make it hurt less, right? Looking back though, I can see God's hand in what I once called heartbreak. Because if that door had stayed open, I would have settled in a space that couldn't hold the fullness of who I was becoming and becoming. Sometimes God closes doors to keep your destiny from shrinking. It still stings, but one day you look back and realize it was never projection. So if you're listening right now and your heart is still tender from something that didn't work out, I want you to hear me. You are not hard to love. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. What God withholds, He always redeems. And it's often in ways that you couldn't have written better yourself. So take a deep breath, let the disappointment teach you, but don't let it define you. Your story isn't over because someone else walked away. You're still becoming, still healing, still worthy. And when it finally does work out, and it will, you will understand why that one had to end, why the other one had to end. So stand firm that it's it's all okay. Thanks for pulling up a chair with me today on Table for One, please. I will see you next time. Love you. Bye.